Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Join us on Twitter, Cascade Hoop Talk. If you haven't called your family, your mom and dad, your brothers and sisters, call them today. If you haven't called your grandma and grandpa, call them today. Today we have Evan Madill, Cal Maritime Academy. He played all 4 seasons as a keel hauler, scored almost 500 points during his career. Evan also received the Champion of Character Award for the keel haulers. The Champion of Character Award is granted to the player who best represents the 5 core values: integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, and servant leadership within the NAI. Congratulations on that, Evan. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So, Evan, to start with, can you just tell people a little bit about Cal Maritime?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, as a senior in high school, I had no idea it even existed. I got a call from Coach Rooney, Brian Rooney, and asked me for a visit. So I decided to go for it. And when I went there, I was absolutely blown away. I got to see the guys in the locker room pregame. Obviously got to sit on the bench and watch the game. And then got to be in the locker room postgame. And the brotherhood there is something else. It's something that I wanted to be a part of as soon as I saw it. It's something I definitely don't regret. The school itself too has its benefits. One of which being its graduates income, remarkable, and it's a place where I thought, well, you know what, I could play basketball and receive a great education and most likely have a job before I graduate. So this is the spot for me, and I'm glad I made that decision.
So let's clear up a couple of misconceptions. So Cal Maritime Academy, is it a state school?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a state school. And then does it just teach people how to drive ships?
So it's a little bit of both. There's only 6 majors that it offers. The main components are the business, the mechanical engineering, and they call them deckies, who basically are hands-on on the ship. And I chose business because I prefer to be more shoreside. But no, it's not just for people to learn how to drive a boat or who want to be out at sea. There's a lot it offers. The business program, it's wide open. There's so many different aspects to it and different industries you could go into. So it's not just the boat school. It's more than that, and it does have some academy aspect to it, to where there is a uniform and there is some other things that you are required to do, and it's not meant for everybody. But I'm sure so glad that I went.
So Evan, at the very start of basketball season, you know, those terrible fires happened out there, and Cal Maritime was right square in the middle of that. Talk about how that affected your school and affected your team.
It was insane, to be honest. We wake up and there's just a fire in the distance, and everyone was just scrambling to evacuate, and there really wasn't any time to really decipher what was going on. Just grab your stuff and get going. And by the time we got off campus and the damages that happened to the school itself, luckily it didn't take the whole school down, only a couple buildings and structures. Craziest part is we just started our season, so it just didn't feel real. We had to scramble around to get practices at random high schools and junior colleges, and I give big credit to Coach Brendan Rooney, because he really was scrambling to find us spots to practice. And then we had a big game against OIT coming up that we had to plan around, and ended up going up there to play. And so the main part, though, is we just stuck together as a team. We kept working as hard as we can, and we try to get in the gym when we can. And luckily the fire didn't take too much of our season, so it was good. We got right back on track.
Yeah, it seems like got through that crisis and now we're into a brand new one, but I'm glad everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was nice to see a lot of schools. I know William Jessup helped you guys out. Oregon Tech helped you guys out. It was nice to see other schools help out during that time. And you mentioned a bunch of high schools as well.
No, yeah, absolutely. My own high school, St. Mary's, they've helped us out throughout the 4 years that I've been at Maritime. So I give a lot of credit to them. It was really great to see everyone come together.
So you just mentioned St. Mary's. That's where you went to high school. You were the Tri-County Athletic League MVP. Talk about your high school basketball experience.
High school basketball was amazing. St. Mary's is a great culture and a great program led by Coach Green. I have a lot of respect for Coach Green and the other coaching staff there. Every year, I've had a great season. It's a competitive one, and I'll tell you that. It wasn't the first couple years, but once we merged into the Tri-City, it was getting real competitive, and it was just a great atmosphere. The students and they call it the Green Machine, which is like the student section, was amazing every game. The rivals were amazing, and it was just awesome to play basketball with your best buds that you go to school with, and you still talk to them about it today, and it's something I'll cherish. And the other players that come out of that program are legit. Like more specifically, Gabe Vincent, he's a great player. He actually just got signed with the Miami Heat, and so it comes to show how good of a program it is.
You graduate from high school, you got to decide where to go to college. So what went into your decision? You talked a little bit about it, but to decide to go to Cal Maritime Academy.
What really went into it was just the guys in the program, and then obviously the coaching, and then the school itself. So with Maritime, it just felt like all three of those checked off my list instantly. The guys there have a bond like no other. The Rooney brothers are amazing people and amazing coaches, and they're someone who I wanted to play for. And then the school, I just felt like it would put me in the best position for a career.
So Evan, you played in a pretty good high school program, and then you went to play NAI ball. You know, what were some of the changes? What were the things that surprised you? Like, oh boy, I didn't know the guys were going to be this good. What surprised you?
What surprised me was that, people think NCAA or bust, it's the only way to go. But really, NAI is just as competitive. There's some hoopers in this conference and in NAI in general. So it took me by surprise just the level of talent that there is. And all the holes in the wall, like schools and programs that you don't really hear about, but once you play them, you come to realize that a lot of people can play, and you're pretty fortunate to play college basketball as it is.
So this season, you talked about the Rooney brothers. So Brian Rudy had been the coach this year, and Brendan had been his assistant, if I'm not mistaken. And this year, Brendan took over as the head coach. Talk about how that coaching change went, and then what changed tactically and strategically with your team with the change.
It was a shock when Coach Rooney made the announcement to us that he was moving to Cal State East Bay. So it took a couple days to digest that news, but once we found out that the program was being handed to Brendan, we knew it was in the right hands. And with that Rooney last name, you really know what you're getting into. And so we knew there would be some changes along the way, especially with the assistant coaches and their new roles and the roles of a new coach. But it mended better than I thought it would, and we had a good season that year. It didn't end the way we wanted it to, but strategically, it felt like there wasn't really a change in some aspects. So it went smoothly.
So let's talk our way through your season. You actually had a pretty good season. It was just a little bit up and down, but I'm trying to get your record here. You ended up 20-9, which is, you had a 20-win season. It was a good season. But you started out 12-2 in preseason. I know you lost one game to Oregon Tech, which was ranked second in the nation at the time, and then you lost on the road to San Diego Christian, another good program. So going into league play, 12-2, how did you feel going into January?
We were really optimistic. We saw glimpses of what we can do in the preseason and who we can compete with, which was basically anybody. So we knew that the Cal Pac isn't easy. Anyone could beat anyone. So there wasn't any time to let up, and we just had to keep getting better and better every day. And obviously we came up short a couple times, but at the end of the preseason, we felt like we were in a really good spot, and we were really optimistic for the future.
So in January, it started to become clear, at least to me, it was going to be a 4-horse race. It was Simpson, Antelope Valley, you guys, and Merced. Unfortunately, in the first time through, you lost to all three of those other teams. Just talk about how good the teams of Cal Pac were this year.
No, yeah, the Cal Pac, it seems like it gets better and better every year. Every other program is improving, and you see that especially in Merced and Antelope Valley. They seem to have our number every year we play them, but I'd rather have to be in a competitive league or conference, in my opinion, than steamroll every year. So it's good to have that competitiveness, and I give credit to both of those programs because they do the work, and it just pays dividends down the road for them.
Before we walk through the rest of the season, did you watch the Antelope Valley game at the tournament when they played Washington Adventist?
I did not, and the funny thing is I didn't catch that game because I had a feeling they'd win, and I was going to try and watch them second round, but unfortunately that obviously didn't happen. So I felt bummed because I think they were going to go far in that tournament, and it would have been nice to see that CalPAC name getting recognized on a nationwide aspect.
I personally thought the CalPAC was getting overlooked all year. I was able to see that Antelope Valley game, and I thought they represented the conference very, very well. As you know, Antelope Valley plays kind of I'm going to call it a little bit tough guy basketball, and they played Washington Adventist is a very good team, and they have a lot of athletes, and they really represented the CalPAC well. So you get through January, like I say, you ended up losing to Simpson, Antelope Valley, UC Merced. At the end of January, you were 16-5, but you were 4-3 in conference. So going into February, what did you guys feel like you needed to do to make it to the national tournament? What were you hoping what did you believe your February had to look like?
Well, we knew it was still early in the conference at 4-3, so we knew there's still a lot of time, but we knew we had to clean some things up, and most of it was just the little things, and it came down to just communication on defense, converting on plays, having that chemistry back as we did in the preseason. So we knew, at the beginning of February, we weren't stressing as if it was like, win or go home. But we obviously knew that we had to clean some things up, get the little things down in order to make our season, go into the conference tournament and then obviously into the national tournament.
So it turned out, I think I mentioned it before, Antelope Valley and UC Merced, they were really your Achilles heel. 5 of your 9 losses were those two teams, two very good teams. Why do you think you struggled with them, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
Their programs resemble ours and vice versa. In my opinion, they're push the ball, they move it around fast, and then with those two teams especially, they could pound it inside. So once they get inside and they have a big man presence, then they're also able to kick it out to shooters, which both of those programs have good shooters this year. And so that was tough to be able to, once you stop the big man, then you got to stop the shooters. You stop the shooters, now you got to stop the big man. So that was something we kind of struggled with. And then once those teams are rolling, it's hard to stop them. Yeah. Obviously, with those 5 losses.
So Evan, you talk about some great players. I want to ask you about a couple of your teammates. Start with the big guy, Ben Borja. He was just, when he got the ball low, he was really hard to stop.
Oh yeah, Ben's just a great guy. He's shy, but once you get to know him, he's I like to call him like a loud guy. But that was a big part of our team, was get inside to Ben and let him go to work, and then as guards, our job is to move around and find an opening for him just in case he gets stopped, which was hard to do. So yeah, Ben, great guy and even better basketball player.
Yeah, he's extremely strong. If he got it on the block, it was pretty much game over. You had to keep him from getting it down there. I want to ask you about another guy, one of the most athletic guys I saw this year, Xavier Lucero.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Xavier's one of my best buds, and in my opinion, I think it speaks for itself. But he's the greatest ski hauler of all time. He's a guy that obviously brings a lot to a team, but he's also just a person who can connect with everyone on the team. There's no ego with Zave. He's one that comes in, does his work, goes home. But no, he's a great basketball player, and he's improved every year that he's been at Maritime. And I'm just looking forward to his senior year because I know it's going to be a big one.
What I noticed about him is he played fearless. I'd like you to comment on this. He played fearless, and it seemed like he got rebounds out of nowhere where he just would sacrifice his body to get inside.
No, yeah, Zave, one of the most competitive players I've seen and played with in practice. If you get him going and you start making him chirp, he'll chirp back and he'll attack any chance he gets. And he's not afraid to go up and try and dunk on you, and he's not afraid to get blocked. He he's a relentless player, and like you said, he's fearless.
So we mentioned it a couple of times, Evan, but the Cal Pack plays very good basketball. Doesn't get any I'm going to say national respect because it doesn't. Is that frustrating to you and the guys who play within the Cal Pack?
It is, but it's a chip on our shoulder that I think Maritime and all the other schools use to their advantage to get that national recognition. Antelope Valley's obviously gotten some of that recognition by getting seeded, and it's good to have a team in our conference with that national seeding. And it motivates us to beat them first off, but two, it gives us that national recognition, and hopefully in the years to come, the Cal Pack gains more respect, and I think it will, and I think people will start to realize that we're just as good as anybody in any conference. So the Cal Pack is a great place to play.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to take a Cal Pack team going deep into the tournament, into the, say, Final 8 or Final 4 to really show off what the conference can do. And I think then it'll get a bit more respect. It's going to obviously change next year with one division. I don't know what it'll look like, but, there's some awful good NAI, as you know, Division I teams in the state of California. So that's going to definitely change the equation as well. So we'll have to see what comes with that. So Evan, what is it meant to you to be part of Cal Maritime basketball? What has that meant to you?
It's meant a lot. Like I said before, it's not meant for everybody. It takes a certain type of person and player to play there, and that's something we talk about. But it means a lot to me, especially because the brotherhood that is involved with the guys that you play with, but more importantly, that the previous guys, the alumni, they always come in throughout the year, watch games. Some of them even come and play in open gym still because they love it so much. And so that's something that I wanted to be a part of, just watching from the outside. But now that I've been a part of it for 4 years, it's something that I'll hold with me for as long as I can remember.
So I have a couple Cal Pack questions for you. So who is the toughest defender in the Cal Pack?
There's been a lot over the years. Are we talking Maritime included, or
no, you can't include your own team. Nice try,
right.
though, and a good try, Evan. You are a sharp guy, aren't you?
Yeah. Man, there's been a lot. Let's see. Andrew Williams from Merced. He's always been a guy who's a tough on-ball defender, and one who knows how to cheat those passing lanes and get steals. Let's see who else. Antelope Valley, especially this year, they've had at least 3 or 4 guys who great on-ball defenders. I think even a couple have set some school records, and then their big men too are always been tough. They're big guys who aren't afraid of contact, and they're not afraid to play against anyone, and it was pretty evident.
Yeah, they're not afraid to mix it up. Where's the toughest place in the Cal Pack to play?
In my experience, it's been Merced. In my opinion, I hate playing there just because they always play us down to the wire every time. I think the last time I won there was my freshman year, so it's always been a place that's been tough to get a W, especially on the road. And their crowd always comes out against Maritime, and their mascot could be annoying as hell.
Well, what do they do? Tell me why. Why are they annoying?
I mean, it's like the little things. I mean, the mascot, he mess around with us, or making eye contact, trying to get on our heads, and it's more annoying than it works. But it's always been a tough place to play. And
well, good thing you're graduated, because you would get a nose full of that guy next year.
I might go just to mess with him now that I'm not playing. So let's see.
Oh, that's funny. You're only a few weeks, maybe a month or two away from being a Cal Maritime alumni. I know we talked about playing ball at Cal Maritime. How proud are you of being a piece of Cal Maritime history, to wear that uniform for 4 years and you're about to get a degree from there?
It's been a life goal, to be honest. It's ever since I can remember starting to play basketball. I wanted to play college ball. Didn't really have any aspirations beyond that, just college basketball. And I'm glad it was Cal Maritime, because that's something I'll hold true to my heart. And it's a program where I'm going to support. my years past graduation, and it's the friendships that I've made with the teammates are going to be lifelong. It's a special place. It's a hole in the wall place, but the culture there and the brotherhood are something I will speak about for the rest of my life.
So, Evan, you said you're majoring in business. What do you see for yourself after Cal Maritime?
To be honest, with everything going on, it's hard to know what I'm going to do. Luckily, I have a temporary job at the Port of Stockton, which I'm grateful for, especially in these times. So as of right now, that's what I'm doing. But as soon as I graduate, I'll hopefully look more into logistics and supply chain management to see what that has to offer, and only time will tell.
Coming out of Cal Maritime, you'll do very well. You can pretty well feel rest assured about that. That's one of the best schools on the West Coast.
Absolutely.
Evan, I want to thank you for coming on. I've really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great talking to you too.